All right, now let's see what the Holy Spirit represents. Okay, let's see what the Holy Spirit represents. Come along, ladies and gentlemen, come along. Let's dive deeper. Now, the Holy Spirit reps. The Holy Spirit, known as the divine creative law. Divine creative law. The Holy Spirit represents the divine creative law. The Holy Spirit is not a ghost, like we're told. I don't want to digress, into so many of those things we're taught in Sunday school. Like I was always thinking, is this thing, how does this thing feel? How does it look like it? But they're all representations, they don't have personalities. They're all just representations, okay? Now, the deeper meaning of the Holy Spirit is divine creative law. The Holy Spirit is not a ghost. It is divine creative intelligence. Divine creative intelligence. All right? Divine creative intelligence. It also means the animating force of consciousness. Animating force of consciousness. All right? Also means the same spirit that moved upon the waters in Genesis. That will be talking about later on in our teaching, where I'm going to also share the deeper meaning of creation that you have in Genesis 1:1. So it is saying that it's also the animating force of consciousness, animating force, the beginning, the creative power that brings about, the creative power that brings about reality, that brings about manifestation. Now, the same spirit that moved upon the waters in Genesis, the power that impregnates imagination with form. Did you see that? Power that impregnates power that impregnates imagination with form. Yes. So don't forget what we talked about, who Mary is. Now the Holy Spirit, what it represents, divine creative power. That power that binds whatever it is that is formless within, and then brings about it into manifestation, or brings about it into reality. That's what it represents. Okay, it sounds logical now to me that, okay, Mary conceived of the Holy Spirit, not by man, but of the Holy Spirit. And definitely what happens, she gives birth to a spirit. She gives birth to a divine consciousness. Spirit begats spirit. Flesh begats flesh. It does sound meaningful right now, isn't it? Yes, it does. So spirit, creative awareness, emotion. That's what it represents. First, divine creative law, divine creative intelligence, animating force of consciousness that brings about form, power that impregnates imagination with form. All right? Now, spirit also is the creative awareness in motion. That's why Jesus later says, it is the spirit that quickeneth. Okay, it is the spirit that quickeneth. It is the spirit that gives life. Anything aside spirit is death. Anything outside of spirit is death. It's the spirit that quickeneth. The mortal body cannot do anything without the spirit. Okay, so now the third one. Don't forget, this is number 2.